Welcome back to Carrick United Analysis, the channel every true red trusts for honest and simple breakdowns of everything happening at Manchester United. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now because tonight is one of the biggest nights of the entire football calendar and you want to be part of this community when it happens. Manchester United are back in the Champions League. Read that again because it still feels amazing to say. Tonight the draw takes place and by the end of the evening we will know exactly who United are going to face in the league phase this season. So let us get into everything you need to know, explained in simple and clear English, so every single fan understands exactly what is happening and why it matters so much. When and where is the draw happening? The 2026-27 UEFA Champions League phase draw takes place this evening, Thursday, August 27th, 2026. It starts at 1800 Central European Time, which is 1700 UK time. The location is the Grimaldi Forum in Monaco, a venue that has hosted some of the biggest European draws in football history. This is not a small event. Clubs, players, coaches, and millions of fans around the world will be watching closely because tonight decides the path each team takes through Europe's biggest competition. How did Manchester United get here? Let us clear something up first, because it is important to get the story right. Manchester United secured their place in this season's Champions League by finishing third in the Premier League last season under Michael Carrick. That third-place finish was enough to earn United a spot back among Europe's elite after a 2-year absence from the competition. This is a huge achievement in its own right. Finishing inside the top places of the Premier League is never easy, and doing it after a difficult period at the club makes it even more meaningful. Carrick guided this team back to where it belongs, competing with the very best clubs on the continent. So tonight is not just about who United will face. It is also a celebration of how far this team has come to even be standing in this draw in the first place. Understanding the new format. Before we look at the pots and potential opponents, let us quickly explain how this competition actually works now, because it is very different from the old format many fans grew up watching. Instead of the old group stage with small groups of 4 teams, the Champions League now uses a single league phase, sometimes called the Swiss model. All 36 teams are placed into one big table. Each team plays 8 different opponents instead of only 3. Here is how it works. Every club is placed into one of 4 seeding pots. Each team then draws 2 opponents from each of the 4 pots, 1 played at home and 1 played away. That means every club ends up playing 4 home matches and 4 away matches against 8 completely different opponents, all before any traditional knockout stage begins. This format is exciting because it means more big matches, more unpredictability, and a much fairer test of which teams truly deserve to progress further in the competition. One more important rule to understand, teams cannot be drawn against clubs from their own domestic league. This means Manchester United are completely unable to face Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, or Aston Villa in this stage of the competition, since all of those clubs are also representing the Premier League this season. Manchester United's pot position. Manchester United have been placed in pot 2 for tonight's draw. This is because the seeding pots are decided by each club's official coefficient ranking, which is based on results in European competition over recent seasons, combined with domestic performance. Being in pot 2 means United are guaranteed to face 2 teams from pot 1, the very best and most decorated clubs in the draw. That already tells you tonight is going to produce some massive fixtures for this club right from the very start. Let us now go through each pot properly, so you understand exactly who United could end up facing this season. Pot 1, the heavyweights. Pot 1 contains the strongest and most successful clubs in this season's competition, based on their coefficient rankings. Some of the biggest names appearing in this pot include Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan, and Barcelona. Since United are in pot 2, they are guaranteed 2 matches against clubs from this pot, 1 at home and 1 away. There are no Premier League teams to avoid in this pot from United's side, since Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City are Premier League rivals, but sit in a different pot themselves, so the exclusion rule regarding domestic rivals still applies wherever they land. Imagine the scenes at Old Trafford if United are drawn at home against a club like Real Madrid or Barcelona. Nights like that are exactly what this club has been missing, and exactly what every fan has been dreaming about during the 2 years away from this competition. Pot 2, United's own group of clubs. Pot 2 is the pot Manchester United themselves sit in. Alongside them are clubs like Borussia Dortmund, Roma, Sporting, FC Porto, and PSV Eindhoven, among others sharing this seeding level. Because Aston Villa are also part of this pot, and Villa play in the Premier League, United cannot be drawn against them under the domestic rival rule. Facing a fellow Pot 2 side would mean a match against a team of similar European standing, still difficult, still demanding, but perhaps slightly more even in terms of overall reputation and recent European pedigree compared to the true heavyweights in Pot 1. Pot 3, dangerous opponents in disguise. Do not be fooled by seeing a lower-numbered pot and assuming these matches will be simple. Pot 3 includes clubs like Napoli, RB Leipzig, Feyenoord, Galatasaray, and Fenerbahce. These are all clubs with real European experience and strong domestic pedigree in their own countries. Napoli, for example, are one of the strongest teams in Italian football. Galatasaray and Fenerbahce bring incredible atmospheres, passionate fans, and difficult away trips for any visiting team. Matches against sides from this pot can easily catch teams off guard if they are underestimated. Pot 4, do not underestimate these nights, either. Finally, we reach Pot 4, which includes clubs such as Stuttgart, Lens, Slavia Prague, AEK Athens, and Como. On paper, these may be considered the less star-studded names in the draw, but European football has taught us many times that there are no truly easy nights once you are competing at this level. Every team in this competition earned their place through hard work and results. Underestimating any opponent, no matter which pot they come from, is exactly how strong teams sometimes stumble in Europe. Why this draw format guarantees big nights early? Here is something worth thinking about. Because Manchester United sit in Pot 2, they are mathematically guaranteed to face two clubs from Pot 1 straight away. That means, no matter how the draw unfolds, United will have massive European nights on the calendar this season from the very first set of fixtures. Think about how exciting that is. This is not a competition where a team can hide from difficult opposition. Every club in this draw, no matter their pot, will be tested against the very best at some stage of the campaign. Question for you. Which Pot 1 opponent would you personally be most excited to see drawn against Manchester United tonight? Would you want the emotional occasion of facing a club with deep history against United? Or would you prefer a fresh European test against a team United have not faced in years? What a return to nights like this means for the club. For 2 years, Old Trafford did not host Champions League football. Thursday nights, or the occasional midweek European fixture, simply were not part of the calendar in the same way. For a club with the history that Manchester United carries, 3-time winners of this exact competition, that absence was felt deeply by every single fan. Tonight's draw represents something bigger than just fixtures on a calendar. It represents the return of this club to where it belongs, competing on the biggest stage in European club football. Every fixture confirmed tonight becomes a fresh chapter in this club's long European story. The rules behind domestic rivals. Let us quickly go back and explain clearly why certain teams are impossible for United to face tonight. The rule is simple. Clubs from the same domestic league cannot be paired against each other in the league phase. Since Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Aston Villa are also Premier League clubs, none of them can appear as an opponent for Manchester United in this draw. This rule exists to protect the integrity and variety of the competition, ensuring clubs face a genuine mix of opposition from right across the continent, rather than repeated domestic matchups that fans already see multiple times during the normal league season. What happens after tonight? Once the draw is completed this evening, Manchester United will know their full list of 8 opponents for the league phase, along with which fixtures are played at home and which are played away. From there, the fixture calendar will be built, giving fans exact dates to circle for these massive European nights throughout the season. This is the moment supporters have been waiting for since the moment Champions League qualification was confirmed. Tonight turns possibility into certainty. No more guessing, no more speculation, just real fixtures against real opponents, ready to be planned for, ready to be excited about. A season of opportunity. Returning to the Champions League gives this club a real opportunity to remind Europe exactly who Manchester United are. 3-time winners of this competition, a club with one of the richest European histories in football, now back among the elite, ready to compete once again. Every fixture from tonight's draw becomes a fresh chance for this current group of players to write new European nights of their own. Nights that fans will hopefully remember and talk about for years to come. Here is one final question worth thinking about before we close. Out of everything discussed tonight, the heavyweight test from Pot 1, the familiar level test from Pot 2, or the potentially dangerous surprises hiding in Pots 3 and 4, which matchup do you think will end up defining United's European campaign this season? Why this community is the right place for you. Champions League nights bring huge excitement, but they also bring a lot of noise across social media, rumors, half information, and outdated reports. That is exactly why Carrick United Analysis exists, to give fans clear, accurate, and honest breakdowns of everything happening at this club, without confusion and without unnecessary drama. If you want a trusted source to explain exactly what tonight's draw means, and to break down every fixture once they are confirmed, this is the right community to be part of. Final thoughts tonight marks the return of Manchester United to the biggest stage in European club football. After finishing third in the Premier League under Michael Carrick, this club has earned its place back among the continent's elite. With United placed in Pot 2, two massive fixtures against Pot 1 heavyweights are already guaranteed, alongside 6 further matches that promise their own drama, difficulty, and excitement. This is exactly the kind of stage this club has always belonged on. 3-time champions of Europe, back to compete once again. Thank you so much for reading and being part of this preview. Once tonight's draw is complete, come back to this community for a full breakdown of every single fixture and what it means for United's season ahead. If you want more honest, simple, and trusted coverage of everything happening at Manchester United, make sure you are subscribed to Carrick United Analysis, because this is where the real story always comes first. Until next time, keep the faith, get ready for European nights, and let us go again together. Glory, glory, Man United.